Good morning, and welcome to Lesson 2, Video 1. That's right, folks, it only took us 40 videos to claw our way out of the first lesson. Now we're ready for Lesson 2. Now, gotta warn you about something. Well, the lesson begins, let's see, what page does it begin on? It begins on page 14. So, obviously, this ain't gonna make any sense whatsoever unless you're looking at the latest version of the practice text. You can download the latest version for free. Right below this video, there should be 2 links. Now, if you don't see 2 links below this video, it's because you're not on this video's YouTube dedicated page. No problem. Find the YouTube icon towards the bottom right-hand corner of this video. Give that a click or two, and in no time at all, you'll be there. If you find the second link below this video, give that bad boy a click. It'll take you to the page for the class materials for the first quarter. You see, I teach about 6 different weekly webinars, so a different one every day of the week. They start every 2 months. So every 2 months, there's a new series of weekly webinars. Each one lasts about 50 weeks, give or take. So these are the materials for the first class. Most of them are free. The stuff that isn't free is stuff that you have to get from vendors. I just hook you up with vendors to give you the best stuff for the cheapest prices because you don't need to go broke to become a Buddha. It's just that simple. So if you've downloaded the latest version, excellent. Please join me on page 14. Now, you'll notice that sometimes the page numbers line up perfectly, other times they don't. I'm going to trust that you have the intellectual acumen to be able to go backwards and forwards a few pages until you find the heading. And the heading for page 14 that I'm working with reads, Chenra Zig's Intellectual and Mystic Paths to Enlightenment. Below that it reads Verbal and Silent, and in brackets it reads Wisdom and Alternate Nostril Breathing. So, you might want to go forward a page or 2 to find that, or back a page or 2 to find that, but there you go, you found it. Now listen, for those of you who are clearly discerning, you'll realize this is not page 1, this is not lesson 1, this is lesson 2. So be humble, and don't start with lesson 2, start with lesson 1, video 1, or lesson 1, part 1. That's where you want to start. If you've already watched the previous 40 videos and done your homework, because without your homework this ain't going to make no sense, then you're welcome to participate in this with this video. You see, I use the word participate because I want you to be a student. A student follows his teacher's instructions. An audience member just listens. Maybe they're multitasking, maybe they're checking their email, maybe they're picking their nose. I'm not here to entertain you. Just like Joe Pesci in Goodfellas. What, you think I'm here to entertain you? Horrible imitation. Jon Stewart does a very good job. Anyway, I'm not here to entertain you. I'm here to help you traverse Buddha's path. If that's what you want, take these videos seriously before you know it. You'll accomplish the 10th Bodhisattva Boon. But not today. Today, we are on the cusp of the second lesson. Oh, Basement Cat. Behold, I'm not sure if you can see Basement Cat behind me. Basement Cat is holding down the couch, making sure that gale force winds do not blow it away. He's a very brave, brave soul. Basement Cat doesn't understand that I'm speaking to people through YouTube. He thinks I'm talking to the wall. Basement Cat thinks I done lost my mind. So let's continue reading on page 14. And of course my glasses are off. I guess I'll be smart and use the size button on Word. Aha, there you go. From Tyler Dewar's translation of Tong Tong Gyalpo's All-Pervading Benefit of Beings, adapted by Lama Jigme Gyatso, that's me. Okay, so Teng Tong Gyalpo was a Tibetan bodhisattva who lived many centuries ago. He was a devotee of the Buddha of Compassion. He composed a simple practice text that many people took as their main practice. He's famous for building many iron bridges throughout Tibet. Taylor Dewar is an English-speaking translator who did a very lovely translation of this text. I've adapted this text, not because I'm a better translator, but through the guidance of my teachers, and likewise, I'm more concerned, and this is important, I'm not as concerned as with preserving the traditional meaning of the text as I am with making sure that text is as powerful and as transformative as possible. Oh yeah! I said it. If I have to choose between tradition and that which is effective, I choose the second. Tradition. I do not worship tradition. I'm all about pragmatism. I'm all about, hey, what works? What's going to pacify my sorrow, my anger, my fear, and those of my students? What's going to increase my love, my peace, and my joy, and that of my students? The path has got to be pragmatic, or it is of no value. The last thing we're going to explore today is the title of this section of the text. It reads, The Passive Visualization of the Great Compassionate One. And we're going to start with the simple part, the second half. Who's the Great Compassionate One? Well, the Great Compassionate One is a nickname for the Buddha of Compassion. Some people say in Sanskrit, my Sanskrit is marginal at best, it can be translated as Mahakarunikaya. Big deal. So, in Sanskrit, it's Mahakarunikaya. It's just another way for Avalokiteshvara. In Chinese, sometimes it's translated as Quan Shi Yin or Quan Shi Yin Pusa. In Japan, it's sometimes translated as Quan Zion Bosatsu or simply Quan Non. Vietnam, it's sometimes transliterated as Quan Team. Of course, in Tibet, it's translated as Chain Rei Zig. Well, we're going to get to that a little bit later. Right now, I'm going to spend the majority of time focusing on the first part of that title, which is the passive visualization. That's right, it's not the passive aggression. It's the passive visualization. And this is huge. That's what he said. But so, so here is the deal. I can't tell you how many neurotic tantric practitioners I've encountered. Oh, hell, I used to be one. When I first was introduced to Buddhist Tantra, I was just downright obsessive, compulsive about doing everything perfect and mastering every visualization to its utmost detail. And like all my peers and my contemporaries, that type of obsession with detail was counterproductive to the spiritual path. So check this out. You and I live in a world where there is more than 25% literacy, and believe it or not, that's an all-time high. There was a time when literacy was for the elite of the elite of the elite. That's why if you look at the original translations of the most ancient texts that we can get our hands on, of Buddha's teachings, we see they're written in a way that's designed for mnemonics, designed to be memorized. So, in a Buddhist Tantra, the iconography, the symbolism of the statues and the painted images exist as mnemonic devices to remind us of the teachings. So the most important thing is not to visualize it in living color with precise detail, but to get the feel for it. That's what's most important, the feel of it. In the next several videos, how many videos is going to be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 videos, maybe more. We're going to be going over a portion of an adapted version of a translation of an ancient text which discusses the visualization of the Buddha of compassion. We don't do this so we can just obsess over each detail. We do this because it's training our viscera to learn certain lessons. So, once again, I'm going to demonstrate the reason why I'm considered to be a radical teacher. And that is that we don't visualize. I don't teach my students to obsess over the visualization, but take a very relaxed approach to the imagery. As we recite the quatrains that follow in the next video lessons, our job is not to visualize them perfectly, but let them wash over us. Imagine, if you will, at the end of a long, hard day, climbing into the shower, letting the warm water just wash the day off of your forehead, off of your scalp, off of your neck, off of your shoulders, off of your tush. Just feel it wash the day away. Likewise, we're going to let these words just wash over us. Remember, we talked in previous lessons. Yeah, you got to watch those previous lessons. Remember, we talked in previous lessons about the power of rhetorical, assumptive, well-worded, mantra-empowered questions. And the power of these rhetorical questions lies not in our ability to be clever, lies not in our ability to answer them, but rather in our ability to ask them verbally, mentally, during the in-breath. And here's the big point: rather than answer them, relax during the out-breath. Likewise, in this, we're going to let these words wash over us. We're going to let these images wash over us, because the most important part of your intellect, your subconscious, is always listening. So it's not your job. Let's think of this way: the majority of your intellect is subconscious. The majority of your intellect is creative. So rather than using the little teeny part of your forebrain to do this, just swallow it all and process it later. Think of it this way: a funnel. A funnel has a wide end and a narrow end. You pour the contents through the wide end, it comes out the narrow end. And that's kind of like swallowing this with your subconscious. And it'll trickle up into our conscious mind, into our intellectual mind, as we need it. That's the proper use of the funnel. You turn that funnel upside down, it's not going to work so good. Okay, let me see how many minutes have elapsed for this video. 13 minutes. I think that is substantial for the first video of the second lesson. I look forward to working with you at our next video. Before I send you on your merry way, I wish to give you a benediction. I thank you for your time and your kind attention. I thank you for doing your homework, the homework you learned from that last lesson, the homework that you're doing once every morning and once every night for approximately 9 minutes a pop, homework that's transforming you, helping you to let go of the gurk in your life. I thank you for your, I thank you for the donations you make. That's how monks live. That's how we eat. So before you go, oh yes, the benediction. May you and yours be healthy and happy Omani Padme Hum. Now, before you go, I want to draw your attention, where is it? Right here, to the button that says subscribe. You click that bad boy, move your cursor away, bring it back, and it should reveal 3 boxes. The bottom box, click that one, and you'll be able to get email notifications every time I upload another video. I recommend that. Now, before I told you about the 2 links below the video, what's that first link? It takes you to the registration page so you can reserve your seating at the next webinar. When does that begin? Friday, the 2nd of November. It's coming up pretty close. I'll see you there. Bye-bye.